see the old chat?
I don't know, because I never closed this off, so it's still the same chat. Sign in to chat.
Oh.
There we go.
Hello, T. I have a feeling you're going to be the only person that joins that actually read the book.
Well, I read it. I read the book. How come? What am I? Beef jerky? Like, do I not count as a real person, as a real boy?
Do you want to be a real boy?
I want to be a real boy. What are we talking about today, Meek?
I was moving books around. I was almost late. No. It's cool. It's cool. In case anyone read this, we'll give it a minute. Hello, Calliope. Did you read the book?
Calliope. That's a new person, right?
I think so.
Loves books.
Something.
Epos. Epos.
I legit just sat down in front of my laptop. Nice.
Cool. We just got up here. I mean, I was up here already, but...
Yeah. I just got up here. I was doing laundry. So, I hope other people read it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty darn good.
I liked it, too. I thought it was...
We are not talking wands today. I am sorry.
Pretty good.
I feel like I'll be the only one. Maybe Calliope did. She joined. I hope so.
This is the book club stream. So we read this book right here, and we're going to talk about it. So the wand stream is usually on Fridays, where we kind of just... It's a general conversation, general talk. Today it's book focused, and we're going to be talking about what we're picking next for our books. And we like books. Sorry,
I said her name wrong.
What is it?
Calliope.
What is that?
And Epos. Haven't read it, not translated. Oh, that sucks. I didn't read it, but we'll watch you anyway. You're gonna get major spoilers.
It's okay. If you never plan on reading it, you could just hang out with us.
It's a pretty good book, though.
It is a pretty good book. I feel like there isn't, like, the...
Ooh, Ashley DNF'd it at 230 pages. I wonder why. I felt like, So
we're gonna spoil stuff. So
yeah.
If anybody... If you don't want it spoiled, mute it. We'd appreciate if you stuck around and just muted it.
Yeah. So the book is about, how do you describe this book? The advancement of the human race trying to reestablish on other planets, God knows where, in the universe. And,
You always get caught up on the details.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you know how they were saying, like, oh, it's a planet out in space, far away in another system, blah, blah, blah. She's like, yeah, but, like, how far is it? And I'm like, that doesn't matter for the story. Like, you know that it took them, like, 1,000 years to get there in cryo or whatever. So, it just, that's how long it took. That's, you know, it's far away. Like, that doesn't, I feel like that's not the important thing. Because time is relevant, right? Because it doesn't really matter because it's they sleep while they're traveling usually.
Thank you, Custom. I mean, no, it's not Harry Potter good. I'll be honest.
Oh, no, not at all. And it's not Brandon Sanderson good
Brandon
either.
Sanderson is Harry Potter good or better. I know that's a stretch, but Warbreaker is the book we're reading next, for anyone that doesn't know. So it's actually, this one is the one we're reading next. And
this is like a standalone, so you can just like read this by itself, and you could join us for that.
And
which
it is
will be
a place where you can start
2 weeks from today?
Yeah.
2 weeks. 2 Sundays from today. What, do you know the day?
Oh, heck.
Did you write it down or something?
I did.
2 weeks from today. 2 Sundays. Not next Sunday, the following Sunday.
The 28th.
I think.
28th, yeah.
That's when we're doing the book stream for this. So you got 2 weeks to read this. It's a pretty hefty book. Like 640-ish pages.
Yeah.
50, I don't know.
So, all right, let's see.
But there's an audiobook, and if you don't have Audible, there's a link in the description that you can get like free 2 books or something if you sign up.
T said you had to finish it. It's a good book. Michael is leaving. Goodbye. Gotta help with your views. Thank you. It does matter, Kivox. I wonder if they're talking about like the little details.
Well, no,
those are the little things, though, that get caught up in my mind when I'm reading, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, and then you stress out about it.
But I'm like, no, I need to know.
But I'm all about details, and I'm all about, like, the fake science stuff, but...
That is the fake science. Like,
no, I mean, that's real science.
Well, I need to know, like, where they are, what point in time, and that's, like, one thing that threw me off in this book, is they never tell you what what year it is, like
because
how far things
because
are.
it doesn't matter for the story
But
development.
it does.
It doesn't.
It matters because you're making huge
Think about this. Think about this.
leaps.
It's like Harry Potter. You don't really need to know what year it took place.
You do.
Why?
Because years matter. Like people
No.
to know time.
Why?
Because
you just said because it matters. That's
Harry
not
Potter's
a reason.
age and how he develops throughout the series
No.
is a big portion
I'm
of
asking
it.
you. You don't need to know what year it starts and what year it ends. Do you? It doesn't matter. It does not affect the story, and that's my point with this. It just all you need to know is that
I don't need
it's
to
in
know
the
the
future.
year, but I need to know.
You literally just said that you
what
needed
I
to know
meant
the
is
year.
like I need to know how much time has lapsed in between each section. Because if you noticed, like every time it would change from like part 1 to 2 to 3, like time went by.
You just need to know that a large period of time passed. I don't think that that's as important for this situation.
I need to know.
And I'm all about like the fake science when it comes to like magic systems and all that. Like I love the little details in that, but I feel like in a situation like this, you don't really need to know, because time that's the title, right? Children of Time. So it's like that's the whole thing. Like time is like so, like it doesn't matter.
I feel like that title's very smart now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
All right, so T said the important thing is how the spiders evolve. The spiders portion was cool, I'll admit. All that book is, I need to know what's going on. I mean, I definitely felt more of like a suspense aspect. Not suspense, but like kind of like you just, I guess it's suspenseful, right? Like you want to know what's going on.
Yeah,
I would feel like through the first third of it, and then I got kind of like
bored in the middle.
It got kind of like redundant in the middle, and then in the end was really good.
Yeah. So there's the spider parts and the human parts.
I like both.
The human parts I thought were like half as interesting as the spider parts. I just like their evolution and their like jump thing. And I don't know if you noticed this, but I did tell you about it where whenever they change the number of the chapter,
That's
first
what I
number.
said just a minute ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I probably would have noticed it eventually, but you noticed it far sooner than I did.
Well, because I was like, why are they doing 1.1 and 1.2? And I was just like, oh, okay, time jump.
Lil SMD said exactly, I agree with her. Ashley says, it does matter. That was the reason I DNF'd. How long had it been between chapters? It's called The Children of Time. Doesn't time matter? You're the only one that thinks time doesn't matter.
It's because, like, look, think about this, guys. If you knew the amount of time exactly to the date, how would that change what happens?
No, but I would like to know a general idea. Like, sometimes they threw in a general idea. They would tell you, like, oh, we've been in suspension for 1,800 years or whatever. And, like, I liked that. I like having, like,
I know, but how did that change the story?
But it just, for my mind, it just gives me clarity. And that's what I like. And then I don't like to feel 100%
another thing,
lost.
too. So they didn't go into this at all, but we don't know how fast it... So, like, this is the type of details that I like, right? Tell me how fast they're moving through space, because that's going to change. If you're close to light speed, time's going to slow down. I don't know if you guys ever read, what was it? Speaker for the Dead, the sequel to Ender's Game. Where he's traveling through space, and he's, like, one of the oldest people alive. Because as he's traveling, time is going by really slowly because he's traveling at close light speed. Which time slows down once you're close to light speed, or if you are traveling at light speed, his body would slow down. Time slowed down in the ship. So the same thing with like astronauts in orbit. If they're going around, their time is actually going slightly slower than our time on Earth, because the speed. It matters. Stuff like that matters, but it doesn't matter in this situation, in my opinion, personally.
Ashley said, well, it's one of the reasons she DNF'd it. T says, I think it's around 2,000 years between the first chapter and the last.
No, I think it's more than that.
It doesn't matter. I agree with her. I felt bored in the middle. The spiders part was better. The human parts were boring. I struggled through every page I read with the humans. Really? Like, I actually liked both. I felt like the human parts for me were like a nice, like, cleansing moment when it's like, oh my god, I don't have to figure out what the heck's going on with the spiders at this time.
The spiders were so simple because it was like every time you go back to the spiders... and there was like a new time era, you would just meet a new character. You wouldn't have to keep track of like...
But it was this... And that was unique how it was like... There were multiple Portias and multiple like Fabians and multiple everyone. And it's like... I thought that was unique how they did that.
I liked it too.
I mean, the writing was definitely good.
I really liked the twist. I loved the twist. I think that's like
Yeah.
really bumped it back up because before that I was at like a 3. I was just like, okay. The beginning started off really good. It was like a 4 at the beginning, and then it dropped down to like a 3, and then I would say it probably went back up to a 4.
I think
towards
my
the
final
end.
rating is going to be like a 3.5.
Yeah, something around
What
there.
do you guys think? What are you rating it? I mean, do you rate your DNFs? Because I do.
I feel like
know
a
you
DNF
probably
should be.
shouldn't.
I feel like a DNF should be considered a DNF. That should be your rating for it.
No,
you know what I mean?
I do rate them because I'll rate them 1 if
Well,
it's
not
like
in-
written
Well,
poorly.
you can rate them on the thing, but not on our board. On our board, you rate
No,
a DNF
yeah,
as a
yeah,
DNF.
yeah.
Okay. So I really liked the evolution thing. Like I love, like, I just really liked how they did the evolution and how, like, what was it, the scientist lady's name? I forgot.
Ivrana Kern.
Kern, yeah, Kern's world. So I liked the fact that, like, how, when she, like, finally discovered what they were, and like how she was able to, like, process it because of, like, you know,
Yeah,
being
she
in
was
the
like, I don't know
computer
how
thing.
I feel about this, and then she's like, well, they're still my children.
Yeah, that was great. And then I like the twist was awesome. Like, I love the twist that they like infected the humans with the, and you were like, they basically brainwashed them, and I was like,
Yeah.
they kind of did.
Well, they did not technically brainwash them, but they like DNA washed them.
Yeah.
They like changed their genetic makeup. But no, it's kind of like brainwashing because even the ones that were alive at the time that got the virus changed immediately.
But what you
pretty
have to
much.
realize is that
That's not how genetics work.
But what they did, well, it is in this.
Yeah.
Like fake science,
And
right?
then human bodies don't change that much. I don't feel like where your genetics would
But
change.
viruses make your genes change. Cancer makes your genes change.
Not really. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, things can cause it to change. So if we could tap into that in fake science, then maybe they could figure it out someday. You know, maybe they can make your hair naturally white.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Right?
Then I wouldn't have to spend a fortune tomorrow.
You would just have to spend like $1 million to make your hair permanently white.
Yeah, but that's worth it.
No, it's
million?
not.
Okay,
you
no.
will never spend $1
You
million
wouldn't let
to
me
do your
spend
hair.
like $10,000 to have my hair permanently white.
I would have to do it first, because my hair is like way darker than yours, so it'd be like, you know.
Testing it.
Yep.
All right.
I'd be like, Meek, let me test it out for you, just in case, you know, you don't want your hair to fall
I know. I
out.
do always get to do everything first.
Yeah,
I'll admit.
Yeah.
All right. So T says, I have a book suggestion for anyone that likes this book. It's about ants. You're an ant while reading The Empire of Ants by Bernard Weber. That sounds interesting. Wait, it's about spiders. I'm confused. Yes. I didn't rate it yet because I didn't know. 3.5 seems like a good rating. I do find it very difficult to rate this book for some reason. Like, I feel like I enjoyed it. I feel like it's better than a 3. It's not quite a 4.
So a 3.5. Nice.
Yeah, I
Got
mean,
him.
But I don't know. It was still very hard. Like, and when I stopped reading, I was like, how do I feel about this book?
Okay. There's a scientist doing an experiment on a terraformed planet where, you know, humans could live, but this experiment is they have a virus that's going to help
well, so they
evolve.
sent down
I wasn't
monkeys
explaining
along
that.
with the virus, and the monkeys were supposed to get the virus.
Yes.
That's an integral part you
I
forgot.
didn't get to that point yet.
Oh.
So there's a planet, that's what I was saying. I was setting up where they went, right? I'm not going to say there's monkeys and a virus, they sent them down. Where did they send them? I got to tell them where they're going to send them first. So then there's monkeys and a virus, and the monkeys were supposed to evolve into humans eventually, and the virus helps them evolve faster, basically.
And smarter and...
Yes, but it's like limited as well. It doesn't let them go past a certain point. But then the monkeys all died, and spiders got the virus basically, and then they slowly started evolving. And it's interesting. And then it's basically like the spiders evolving on a planet like Earth, and then the humans are out in space because they destroyed the Earth, and they're trying to find a habitable planet. They find this planet that was, you know, set up for them basically, but then there's like a satellite that's protecting them, and they're like, no, you can't come onto this planet. It's like a safe place. You're dirty monkeys. You can't come on here. Only my monkeys could live here. I love that. I loved how she called like humans monkeys. That was great. Anyway, that's the story. And then there's a lot of weird stuff that happens. It's basically 2 completely separate stories for like 99% of the
Watching
of the
how
book.
basically the humans are staying the same can't English.
No, they're
Technology-wise-
devolving because
Well, they did, but
Because, yeah.
through the time that we're reading, they're pretty much staying the same.
yeah.
And then how the spiders are going to like crazy lengths and evolution. Like, they're as smart, if not smarter, than the humans.
Well, they're different smart,
Yeah.
right? Because if you remember at the end with the ship that they built, that was like half their technology and half human technology, and then they got some signal. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a sequel, it's them trying to find this new signal from space.
It's like but it's not. They said it's not like an unknown place, so it's one of the terraformed worlds that are making.
Or Earth.
I don't think so. I think it said something along the lines of like it's one of the other terraformed worlds that's making contact now, and they're like, we got it, and it makes me want to read it, but at the same time, like, do I want to read another 600-page book about stuff like this? All right. I gave it a 1 star because Goodreads does not have a DNF option. If I did, I would go back and change the rating to that.
I agree.
It depends on why I DNF something. I may give it a 2 star if it's just not for me, but the writing is good. If I DNF it, because I mean, I have to. Even if you don't like this book, you have to admit that the writing is good.
Yeah,
like, it's a very well written book for what it is. It may not be
also the audiobook was
your
pretty good.
taste. The audiobook was good. It might not be your taste, but like it's well written, and I feel like 1 stars to me are just like they're poorly written. The story isn't good. Like it has technical faults. Like, this book to me doesn't have any technical faults. It just, I can see it not being for everyone.
The narrator was really good. I could always tell when it was a guy or a girl talking, which is good. That's always like a thing that I have trouble with. Like, if I don't know if like just the voice actor is, yeah, it was great. It wasn't great. It was on par with good. Like it was a good audiobook. Yeah, I had no issues with it. The human parts kind of like, at first they weren't confusing, but then after I talked to you, like, I kept listening to it and I was just like, I don't know who these people are. I know the one guy, the historian guy, like, he's the only one that I ever, classicist, what was he called?
Yeah.
Historian, whatever, same thing. He's like the only one that I ever recognized. And then like,
Lane.
Okay, so was Lane the same person that like was in love with him or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Because then I thought she died.
Like a thing, and then...
No, listen. Because then I thought she died.
Yeah, everyone did.
And then they brought her back, and I was just like, wait a minute.
Everyone thought she died, but really she was just in cryo, and no one ever told him. And then she came back, and he was like, "What the f? I thought she was dead."
And I didn't even know he went back into cryo. And then like next thing, I'm just like, okay, I guess he's in cryo again. But again, knowing how much time had gone by wouldn't have changed how confused I was.
It doesn't matter. Like, it's just,
no, it does matter.
Like,
because
wanting to know. Like, when I'm reading, there's certain things that I want to know.
Do you want to know how big the planet that they're on is as well?
Oh my god, no.
Why?
I did wonder about it though.
But knowing, would that make your life better?
I mean, it would be nice to
Would
know.
you want to know? More important questions for me is like, what happened to the monkeys? Are they dead? Did they die?
Yeah, they're dead.
Like, instantly died?
Yeah.
They died in a crash or something?
The virus is more like likely to live because viruses aren't alive. So
I know, but
really no way to
but
kill
how
it.
did they die?
The crash. They crash landed on that planet in the
Why
very
did they crash?
beginning. Because they did.
Oh.
I don't remember
Those
what happened.
Those are the kind of questions that I want to know.
I don't remember what happened in the beginning, but like something happened and they crashed.
They got attacked.
All right. Wordbreakers translated. Maybe I'll get to it. You should. Brandon is awesome. I like his hair. I enjoyed it. It was a good read, but it's still forgettable. I already forgot a bunch of stuff. I feel like I will too. But it's just kind of like the overall, like, general idea that I'll remember. What do you guys rate it? It seems like a good book, so 3.5. I like when the spiders were keeping a human hostage to kind of study it until it died. Yes, I was a little confused by how long she was kept hostage.
Until she got old.
I wasn't sure though. Like, if it was just kind of like that she gave up with living and stopped eating and whatever. But then later on, they do say that they kept her for many years.
Yeah. So I loved the language barrier. I thought that was awesome.
Well, yeah,
the fact that they didn't just evolve into like talking with their mouths. You know, like
they still use like movements.
When they said palps, they were talking about their little
I think so.
Their little.
I looked it up and I forgot.
Right? That's what they were talking about.
And maybe I don't know.
But that's.
And they don't talk like with their mouths, and they even talk about how like humans are so weird because they can't talk and eat at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I thought they were like their little.
No, they use the webs and movement and
but
like
I thought
their legs.
What are palps?
To talk. I don't know. Where's my?
Don't look up spider palps because I don't want to be grossed out by whatever they are.
They have like a fake picture.
Ugh. Spiders are gross. They're
spider
terrifying.
Palps. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, right there. Look.
All right.
The front.
Second pair of appendages.
They have like
A
little
group
things.
Scorpion spiders have them. Yeah. All right.
That's what they are.
There's a sequel I bought both from the library I work for. Nice. I won't read the sequel because it was enough that with that only that one book. I wish Goodreads would add a DNF option and half stars. Yes, I wish they had half stars.
But then they could also just have a 10 scale rating.
Touche.
Because that's what half stars are. It's
I don't feel like 3s are on pars with 4s, and they're not as bad as a 3. Like, you need that half star.
You agree though, right?
Yeah. I have a fear of spiders. I mean, I do too in real life. This book didn't really like. I guess I don't have a phobia to the point where this book like triggered like a phobia. They're gross. Imagine being held captive for the rest of your life. I would probably just stop eating and die. Like, I can't. The one guy destroyed the ship carrying the monkeys. Kern escaped the ship in the escape pod. Yes, okay, you're right. I forgot about that. I was a little confused at the end, and I'm still a little confused as to whether Kern was actually dead. I feel like the satellite just took over and, like, uploaded her mind and became Kern, and I feel like she died at some point. Am I weird? Like, I don't think at the end, whatever was communicating with those spiders on, like, a regular basis, I don't think it was the human Kern.
It wasn't.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think she's alive anymore.
She got blown up.
No, she didn't. She was in cryo that whole time.
Yeah, but then they blew up her satellite at the end.
Did they?
Yeah, the drones went out and they blew up her satellite.
Oh,
and then at that point, Kern had already been transported into that living computer on the planet, which was made out of like the bugs that could like transmit all the things, and it was like a supercomputer that could hold even more than her. Mm-hmm. It was more powerful than what they had on the ship, basically. And that was like, it was weird that they introduced like that friend of hers, like the other spider, or the spider that was like her only friend. Because he like didn't really have a role to play, unless he's going to have a role in the next.
Who? Fabian?
I don't know if it was Fabian or
Fabian was the only boy spider that was like...
No, later, because a bunch of time went by after that. So after they met her, a big time jump went by again. Uh-huh. It wasn't like a month later. It was like a big time jump. And that's how they were able to bring her down to Earth, transfer her conscience down to Earth. Conscience.
I don't remember there being a friend.
Yeah, there was like another spider that was like her like friend that lived in the cave that was her brain or whatever.
I enjoyed Eliza. She sounded so crazy. No, she was a great character, and I feel like she was very well written.
Eliza wasn't the crazy one.
Eliza Kern or whatever her name
was.
Oh, no, you're right. Eliza was the computer, and Kern, no. Eliza was the lady.
No, Eliza was the computer.
The satellite?
Yeah.
Avrana was her, and you're right.
Yeah. Eliza was the computer, and she was perfectly sane.
Yeah, I thought it was very ingenious that the spiders changed the virus to infect the humans and basically brainwash them.
And you thought they were just like annihilating them?
I thought they were killing
yeah.
them.
I was like, oh, here we go, another just killer spider movie.
What else did I write?
I don't know. I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Oh yeah, at the end they say like they worked together to create even greater technology than they could do separately, like mixing both of their like abilities. The one saying to stay away, talking about the monkeys. I think the one that kept warning her to stay away, you're correct, was Eliza, and that was the satellite.
I'm right about that?
I believe so. Well, I don't know. I'm saying I think so. And then Avrana Kern was the human in cryo. Do you enjoy the outside of the box books kind of style?
I like thinking outside the box.
I don't know. Do we? I guess so. It depends on how crazy it is. Not crazy, but like how out of
the box.
The realm of possibility it is. Like if I just feel something is not possible and they don't explain it with fake science, then I don't like it. Like if it's just like it happened because it happened, and it's weird, then no, I don't like that. Like, those parts in Echo North that were like that drove me crazy.
I never read that.
Sorry, time to time, it's fun to... Sometime, it's fun to get an outside of the box, but I wouldn't read only that. It depends, like I said, on the kind it is.
The kind of box?
The kind of outside of the box story, my god. I feel like this story is outside of the box. Like, it's not like it's something that you don't read every day or you don't find.
No, I like that, yeah. I like that.
And it's very, like, difficult to make a very science-heavy and, like, book that people like and enjoy. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there really isn't much to say about it. I feel like nobody read it.
I mean, like I said, I feel like there is kind of like a lull in the middle where you're just kind of like watching the spiders get smarter and smarter, and it just kind of explains their evolution. And it was different than humans and how we evolved, so I thought that was interesting. Because, I mean, they're not human, and I like how they integrated, like, I really feel like if spiders were to evolve, that's how they would do it. Like, if they were to become more human-like.
Yeah.
I'm glad I read it, but I won't ever read it again. I mean, I don't think I'll ever read it again either. But I'm not entirely saying no to the second book. We'll see. I mean, I have a million books to read, so it'll probably never happen.
So you're saying no?
Yeah. But
yeah.
I do feel like I'm intrigued, and I want to know what happened on the other world and what they're going to find. I feel like I would probably want to read the synopsis on the back of the second book and see if it appeals. And maybe I would decide, like, if I'm going to read it.
Oh, I won't read it again.
You're not going to read the second one?
No. Don't care that much. If you read it and you tell me it's amazing, then I'll read it. So, guys, next 2 weeks from now, we're doing this book. So if you guys want to read it, it's pretty good. Actually, I don't know if it's good, but it's Brandon Sanderson.
As much as the other book, Seven Blades. Seven Blades had a lot of faults. I mean, I tend, like, books that I rate, like, a 3, I tend to not talk as much about. It's kind of like you don't have a lot to talk about. It's not great. It's not bad. Low-rated books, there's a lot to complain about. And, like, really good-rated books, like, there's a lot to talk about that are good. So it's, like, I feel like 3 and anywhere from, like, a 3 to a 4 is very difficult to talk about because they're usually kind of like mediocre or just like good. So, I don't know, maybe that's just me. But yeah, Warbreaker is next, and then Forging Divinity is going to be the middle of the month. Next month, what is it?
That's a row book, right?
Yeah, so it is an author that we both enjoy, Andrew Rowe, but we're going to be reading that one for August 11th. So those are the next 2 books if you guys want to join the book club. Warbreaker, the end of this month, the 28th, and then August 11th is Forging Divinity by Andrew Rowe.
And we don't have that yet, so that's why we're not showing it to you.
I always do that too, T, and I feel like authors get so mad. Like, I always downgrade everything I rate. So, like, if it's a 3.5, I always give it a 3 on Goodreads, and I'll write 3.5 and, like, why. But, like, I didn't give it a 4. So, yeah, like, it doesn't, in my mind, it's not a 4, so I'm not going to rate it a 4 and then write 3.5. That doesn't make sense. To me, it makes sense to have the 3.5, or 3.
And, like, I don't know, I just feel bad for, like, the fact that 3 is such a bad number. Like,
in
people,
the book world, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it shouldn't be. It should be the average. It should be, like, a good book. A 2 is not good. A 1 is stay away. A DNF is, like, just throw it in the garbage.
But someone DNF'd this, and I don't.
Yeah, but that's what they thought. Yeah. So people that like the books that they like would assume that, you know. People that like the same books as we like would, you know, think that this is like a 3.5.
So excited for the Row book. It's a step closer for Karis.
Uh-oh.
Oh, bark, bark, bark.
All right, I guess we gotta go. Somebody's at the front door. It's probably just the. Yep, they rang the doorbell.
They had to do it.
They had to ring the doorbell.
The dog's not gonna shut up now. But thank you guys for joining, and I'm glad some people read it, and I hope you enjoy Warbreaker because we love Brandon Sanderson, and our bar is raised pretty high, so I hope it doesn't disappoint.
Magic as you've never seen it before. That's what it says.
That's why I don't have a doorbell. Yeah.
Does she have a dog?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Say bye, Meek.
Bye, Meek.
Bye, bye, bye.
Oh my god, you can hear her growling. Grrr. Like she's so vicious.